Good morning, my name is Kevin Leslie from HP. I run the service portfolio management business across EMEA, and it was my pleasure to speak at the SMEXA 15 event this morning for ITSM South Africa. And the topic we covered was Big Data Service Desk. And the theme for Big Data Service Desk is part of the digital transformation that is happening here in South Africa, and we had some really great presentations from EY around the digital transformation and how big data fits into that. The focus was on practical use cases, what customers have actually done and what they've implemented around big data. First off, I'd like to define what big data is. First of all, big data is all the data that can be available to you to run an IT service desk. That includes the structured data. That would be the data you enter into fields. That's probably about 10% of the data you could use on an IT service desk. There are two other types of data, the human data and the machine data. So an example of the human data. The human data is being able to read the free text, all the comments you would enter into an incident or a problem. Typically on a service desk, those comments are only available to a service desk agent if they happen to look into that ticket. It's not generally available. Most IT service desk solutions cannot read and process that free text. On the machine data, a practical example would be being able to read images. So for example, if you're a user, you have a laptop and you get a blue screen. The system goes down, you have a blue screen and it gives you numbers and letters of what might have happened with your laptop. With a big data approach, you would simply take a photograph with your smartphone of your laptop and you would send it off as a ticket, and that's then read into the system and can be read by the system, not as an attachment, but actually it is interpreting exactly what has been captured through OCR and making that available to the environment. So quite simply, the Big Data Service Desk has access to not just structured data, but unstructured data as well. There are two main use cases for the Big Data Service Desk, smart ticketing and hot topics analytics. Let me start with smart ticketing. So smart ticketing, in a typical IT service desk, a user is entering lots of fields to describe what their incident or what their request is. That can lead to user error. It can lead to users defining things incorrectly. Your users typically aren't ITIL trained, so the difference between an incident or a problem, as an ITIL person, you might know what it is, but as an end user, you do not. So what our users are able to do with the Big Data Service Desk is simply enter in free text the issue they've got. The system reads the free text as they're entering it, will pre-populate the fields, and will suggest the service or the categorization of the issue they've got. So it dramatically reduces the amount of entry time for an end user, makes it more accurate, but more importantly, it means that the incident or request or problem that's being entered is correctly categorized more often. So on average, our users are experiencing an improvement from around 40 to 50% of accuracy in categorization to more like 70% and above. Well, why is that important? If a user has an issue, they don't know if it's a network issue or a database issue or an apps issue, but based on big data, it can predict what that issue is likely to be. So if you do have a network issue, it will go to the network person first time, which means that your issue gets fixed quicker, and from a service desk point of view, you've got less cost of moving things from one area to another to get things fixed. So that's on the smart ticketing. So it's addressing the issue of ease of entry, and it's also reducing the cost, the number of people you need on the service desk. So that's on the way in. On the way out, on hot topics analytics. So with hot topics analytics, a user's provided a heat map of what's happening in their environment. I'd equate this to running your service desk as you would drive your car. If you're driving your car here in Johannesburg, for example, would you want to use Google Maps that shows you the traffic situation right now? Or would you want to look at the traffic report of yesterday, last week, or last month? A traditional service desk is doing exactly that. You're running the service desk on reports on what has happened in the past. With a real-time big data service desk, you can see exactly what's happening in your environment as it's happening. Let's take a practical example. Let's say here in Johannesburg, I'm seeing almost every user I come across has a smartphone, and they have emails on smartphones. Let's say in your organisation there's a problem with emails on smartphones. First user reports it, second user, third user, fourth user. Then in the service desk, you would then see on hot topics, you would see that trend, you would see that on the heat map, you would see that issue is happening right now. So you could do something about it. You don't have to wait till the end of the day, you don't have to wait till the end of the week, you could do something there and then. So this heat map approach, real-time approach, enables you to proactively address issues as they are happening. Hot topics also enables you to identify those parts of your IT infrastructure that is causing issues. So whether it be your financial systems or your banking system or whatever application it might be, sometimes you've got a gut feel that certain applications are causing you more issues. For those, it helps you to identify what those issues are, what the types of issues are, but it also throws up things and trends that you hadn't spotted. So it enables you to be more proactive in running your service desk. So quite simply, using a big data service desk enables you to improve customer satisfaction. They can get information in quicker. It predicts what the categorization and services that you need. So the response to the user is quicker. On the service desk, you're spending less time in moving incidents and problems from one group to another. It's much more likely to get to the right person first time, so it cuts your costs. And from a hot topics perspective, it enables you to see exactly what's happening there and then and do something about it. Again, improving customer satisfaction, so you can work on those things that are of the highest priority to your users. So today I co-presented with Charles Joubert from University of Pretoria. They're a user of our Big Data Service Desk. Charles done an excellent job in running ITSM at the University of Pretoria. They support about 100,000 end users. They have just 9 service desk agents, so obviously very effective. Charles explained how they've implemented smart ticketing, how they've implemented hot topics, and went through the business metrics that they have impacted through introducing that innovation. Charles will be delivering a webinar in October that will be available for ITSMF users to view, and Charles will also host a session at the university in the new year, which will give ITSMF members an opportunity to see the Big Data Service Desk in action, see it from the point of view of a service desk agent and from an end user. So an opportunity to see it from a practical point of view and ask questions of the key stakeholders of the IT Service Desk at the University of Pretoria. Kevin Leslie from HP. I'm responsible for the service portfolio management products for HP software in EMEA.